Three-game winning streak brought to an end because we couldn't give Verlander run support. So back. I am Weston. I love talking about the Astros, and I'm here to talk about Game 30 of the regular season, where the Astros lose 3-2 in the 10th inning to the Cleveland Guardians, and now set up for a series-winning game tonight in Game 31 for the Astros. Didn't make the video last night. Couple of fold. One, I played hockey yesterday, and I did a very, very not good job staying hydrated, so I was dying from that. Then called a softball game that was outdoors and also didn't stay hydrated. And by the time the game was wrapping up, I was just like dying on a couch, and I was like, you know, if I actually make a video tonight, it's just going to be unintelligible, and I'm going to say nothing of value. And there were a couple of different things that I wanted to talk about, not just from the game, but also the Jose Abreu thing that happened a couple of days ago. Because in the last video I made, I very specifically didn't bring up the Jose Abreu stuff because it was a great win. It was this incredible walk-off victory for the Astros where it really started to feel like they were starting to kind of climb out of that hole and starting to get some momentum and good things, good feet forward, and I just felt that it would have either killed the vibe of that video or it would have just done a disservice to it because it would have been a little side note. Today, I can just talk about the Jose Abreu thing, and I think really do it justice. Full quote. You know what's been the hardest thing for me? And I say this from the bottom of my heart. I feel embarrassed. The people of this organization brought me here to do a good job, and I haven't done that. The hard thing, too, is my teammates see that I haven't done a good job, although they've always supported me. I always have been by my side, but I won't stay down. That's just such a hard thing to physically read. Because athletes all the time are portrayed as these rock solid, if they wear their emotion on their sleeve, it's because they're celebrating hard. That's usually the way we discuss it. And it's Jose Abreu meeting head on the incident. It's not him just saying, oh yeah, there's something wrong with my swing and I need to go tweak it. It's him outright saying, I have not done anything close to what I was brought here to do. And it's brutally honest of Jose Abreu, and I respect the hell out of him for it. I also respect him for being asked by the team if they could do it, and him agreeing to do it. It's not fun. It's not anything good for the person, other than the fact that you might be able to, you know, rebuild yourself down in West Palm. But this is a difficult thing, and a lot of people, and myself included, I'm one of the most guilty parties of this, have just been brutal to Jose Abreu. And I think it's been fair because he has been not anywhere close to the player that the Astros signed from a statistical standpoint. I've always maintained that he wants to be. I've done very good not to take shots at him personally because I haven't seen any reason to do that because personally he seems like he wants to do well. He seems like he is greatly disturbed from the fact that he is not playing up to par. And the quote really, really addresses that. I hope that he can find himself again in West Palm. I hope he can rebuild himself, come back, and finish the season strong. I don't know if that means then you keep him for next year. I don't know if that just means that his redemption arc is coming back and having some good at-bats late in the season. I hope he finds peace in West Palm. I hope he finds the player that he once was down there. Because that quote really just makes you step back and be like, oh, the person we've been tearing to shreds is a human being with human emotions and is probably more upset about all this than I have ever been. But now we actually get into the game from last night, which it was just a pitcher's duel between Tristan McKenzie and Justin Verlander. Verlander pitched pretty well. I'm not quite willing to say it was great. 7 innings of 2-run ball is very, very solid. Only a pair of strikeouts to 3 walks is not the most ideal, but the 3 walks over 7 innings is definitely nothing to scoff at. I think Verlander pitched a very solid game. Gave up the solo home run, gave up a little bit of track to give up the other run. Verlander was the only reason the Astros were even able to sniff extra innings in this game. He pitched wonderfully. I think it is really, really funny that Verlander just seemingly, every time he comes back from an injury, is better than he was before. And I'm not implying anything with that, but I'm also not implying anything with that. If the Astros go down deep, they need to hit him with a tire iron. Then Montero had a scoreless inning in the 8th. Ryan Presley came in the 9th and blew the doors off of him. Picked up 3 strikeouts, gave up 1 hit, but, you know, the 3 strikeouts kind of is the main story of that. And then Sean Dubbin came in the 10th inning for reasons I do not know and didn't look particularly great. I'm not going to blame him, though, because, you know, the extra runner on second base is really, really stupid, and I don't like it. It makes me want to rip my hair out every time I see it. Have I mentioned that I don't like the runner on second base before? As for the offense, Jose Altuve had an RBI. Big base hit for him. You had Kyle Tucker with a home run to tie the game late in the game. The offense was very clearly not up to muster. Then you had the Victor Caratini thing in the bottom of the 10th inning with one of the worst reads of all time. But I'm not really going to give it to him too much because, you know, he walked off the game literally like 24 hours beforehand. And that really brings me to the point of this game and my biggest takeaway. It's a loss. And I'm going to treat it as a loss. The Astros won 3 games in a row, and they lost a game in which their starting pitcher pitched a really solid game. They lost it in the 10th. It's the extra runner. I've always, when the Astros were winning World Series or when they were down below 500 in 2020, I've always talked about how I hate this rule. The Astros, over the past few days, since Saturday of last week, have given me proof through their games that this is just a loss. Now, if they go out and get killed by the Guardians tonight, might be a little bit more intense. But they've won quite a few games as of very, very recently. I'll specify that. Sometimes you lose. It was the extra innings. I'm not going to be too critical. And it was such a clearly bad read that you can't even get too mad about it, if that makes any sense. I talked recently in a Rangers video about a horrible goal given up by Igor Shesterkin. And like, well, you know, it's so bad you can barely even criticize it because anyone who has eyes can see what happened. I'm not saying that if he stays on second, the game ends up being an Astros win, but the Caratini read was so comically terrible. Anyone who watched it can be like, oh yeah, that's how that happened. And it's a big old goof, but I am willing to just say it was a one-off goof and see if they can't win the series tonight. And side note, Astros, please, for the love of God, I have been like your biggest champion this season. I have given you every break possible. Please, for the love of God, let this optimism be rewarded tonight. I am begging you. I am begging you, Astros, please, for the love of... All right, and the game tonight is at 8:10 Eastern, 7:10 Central. The Astros are going to send Spencer Argueta to the mound. Lord help us. And the Cleveland Guardians are going to send Logan Allen to the mound. I'll be here afterwards to talk about it, but as for right now, that is all I have to say. So, if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and as always, go Astros.